Welcome to the Plant Trainers Podcast, where we're helping people improve their quality of life through nutrition and fitness. And now, your hosts, nutrition and wellness coaches, international speakers, Adam and Shoshana Chaim.
Hey, I'm not Adam Chaim, I'm Shoshana Chaim, and we are Propelled by Plants. Today I bring to you episode 487, Everyday Tips for People with Acne. In this episode of the Plant Trainers Podcast, we talk with me, Shoshana Chaim, all about everyday tips for people with acne. Adam's not on the show today. I think he's missed maybe one, possibly two shows in 487. Everything's good with him. He's got a big tournament going on. So you've got me here today. And the truth is, he probably doesn't have many tips about acne from personal experience himself, maybe a little bit of working with clients, but it's not really his thing. So most of the tips I'm going to share today are going to be free. They are tips that are going to help people of any range. And I personally suffered with acne for about 38 years. So I did a lot of my own research. I helped myself in many different ways. And of course, through the Plant Trainers Podcast and other studies, I've really learned a lot. So we're not just going to cover what to put on your face. We're going to cover what not to put on your face, what to put in your mouth, what not to put on your head, getting you thinking a little bit there. But I want you to remember throughout the podcast, everybody's skin is unique. And although what I'm going to share today are mainly lifestyle tips and just really good ideas that people need to be doing on a daily basis anyway, there are some things that you might need a little bit less of, you might need a little bit more of as well. So I have a joke for you. Why did the pimple apply for a job? It wanted to get ahead in the business. Haha. Get it? All right. Sorry, it's really bad. Adam's not here to keep me in line today, so I'm going to try to do that myself. Let's get started with everyday tips for acne. Feel free to share this with anybody of any age with any kind of acne. It is a great place to start. Have a good show.
Hey everyone, now it's more important than ever to stay close and connected to us as we're going to be making some changes here at Plant Trainers. So please head over to planttrainers.com and get our plant-based comfort foods recipe book for free. That's a $14.99 value just by signing up for our newsletter so that you can know what changes are, because we want to make sure that we stay in touch.
And now for a moment of gratitude. 2024 has felt so good. I'm not going to say that there haven't been any hiccups. I'm not going to say that things don't get stressful sometimes, but I feel like I'm in flow. I did choose a word for the year. My word is courage. And sometimes it's about doing something really bold and courageous, but sometimes it's just having the courage to get through the obstacles or tasks or great things that are going on. And I think that word, I feel like I'm surfing on that word. Like the word courage is my surfboard. So that's my moment of gratitude. I'm grateful for slaying 2024 so far. All right. So, hi, I'm Shoshana. It's weird sitting in the middle of, for those of you watching on YouTube, sitting in the middle of the couch in front of the picture without the two of us on either side. Like I said in the intro, everything's good with Adam today. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it. Maybe show 2, possibly 3 out of over 480. So not too bad. He's not doing too bad at all. So here's the thing. You don't know what you don't know until you know it. And I almost feel as if we could start every single show with that, because we've only experienced, we've only read, we've only studied what we know. So how could we possibly know that there's other things out there? How could we possibly know that something else might work? And at the end of the day, we won't know until we try it. So here are some tips. And if you're suffering with acne, whether it's cystic acne or whether it is blackheads or whiteheads or what have you, maybe it just looks more like a rash, think about each of the tips that I'm going to give today and say, can I be doing that better? Can I be doing that differently? And when you do go ahead and give it a try, I want you to think that this is not an overnight thing. Those pimples you may have gone to sleep at night without a pimple and woken up in the morning with one, or vice versa, woken up in the morning without it, and by the time you're ready to sleep, have one. But the truth is, a lot of the work that the pimple did before you even saw it, before you even knew it was there. Or it's stemming from something, or we know it is stemming from something much, much deeper. So give it time. Work on something for a month, 2, 3 months. layer it on, work on all of these things together. I mean, my acne started early teens, and it was those big cystic acne, and sometimes they were red, sometimes they were white, sometimes they were whitish but not poppable. I was really bad. I really popped a lot of acne in my life and left a lot of scars on my face. And now looking back, I've talked about this before in terms of my own immune system and other reactions that I've had in my life and being on antibiotics so often. I do think that I was actually allergic to dairy. And I do think now that dairy contributed to a lot of those allergies and acne that I was having back then and throughout my life. When I was doing martial arts, it tended to be a little bit worse because things are a little bit dirtier, grappling with other people. There were different times in my life where it went up and down, but it never went away completely until I went 100% plant-based. And then after a while, all the acne went away. I was still left with the scarring, but all of the acne went away and my body was balanced. But then when I hit this rock where I was in adrenal fatigue and my stress and anxiety was really bad again, I wasn't sleeping very well, and I was just worrying all the time. That's when all that cystic acne came back. So it was reignited in my body. So I had done a lot of work to fix it through my plant-based diet. Not that I did anything super, super special, but just being so strict with my diet and making sure that I was eating a plethora of great food, as organic as possible, not a lot of processed foods. Things naturally got better as they did in many areas. But then when I hit that rough part again, it all came back and I was stuck having to find out how to really heal it. So I needed to do more of some of the things that I'll talk about today. So I'll circle back to that after. So the first thing I want to talk about is staying hydrated. And I challenge you to actually measure out how much water you are drinking in a day. Measure out what you want to drink in a day and see if you can get rid of it all, or count as you go and tally it up. Because often we do 1 or 2 good days at 2-3 liters of water, and then all of a sudden we drink a little bit less tomorrow, a little bit less the day after, a little bit less the day after. And before you know it, we think we're great water drinkers, but we're really only getting 4 cups in a day, which is not enough. So really stay hydrated. I don't want to say 8 glasses of water. I don't want to say, what's 8 glasses? Your glass can be like this. My glass could be like that. Here's my water I'm drinking today for you guys on YouTube. It's water. It's water. I don't know. Starbucks makes the best water. I don't know how they do it. I go in there and order water all the time. Our whole family does. But make sure that you're drinking 1, 2, 3 liters a day. If you exercise or live in a dry climate, or live because you might be being dried out, or you might the sun and the heat. So it's really individual for you. So figure out how much water you need and make sure that you're drinking that water. Also, eating a balanced diet is really important. What does a balanced diet mean? When I heard on the Plant Trainer podcast, it means eating your lentils, eating your beans, eating your greens, eating all the colors, right? Eating the whole grains. You want to keep what's on your plate as less oily as possible, as less processed as possible. You really want to make sure that you are eating high nutritious foods. It doesn't mean go out and get a whole bunch of power bars. It doesn't mean that you have to buy all these greens that are out there. Try to buy as organic as possible. What I recommend to people to do is look at the organic section and look at the regular section. Very often, especially these days, the prices of organic is not much more than the prices of the regular food. So really try to feed your body. Now, if you're somebody who's still eating dairy, or still eating dairy sometimes, or eggs sometimes, okay, that's your choice. You know that we've always met you where you are. But if you're having acne and it's bothering you and you want it to go away, give yourself 3 months without the dairy, without the eggs. You can always go back if you want to. I don't recommend it, but you could always go back if you want to. But it can be very, very inflammatory, especially the dairy, inflammatory in the body, and it can offset the gut. And if the gut microbiome is not in a good place, it's going to come out somewhere. And very often, it's going to come out through your skin. So maybe you have acne on your back. Maybe you have acne on your shoulders. Maybe you have acne on your face. Try avoiding the dairy products, any more animal products that you have in your diet already. And like I said, give it time. Give it a couple of months to go. And then if if you've already gotten rid of that, or if you have tried that, you can try getting rid of specific grains. You might want to start with the glutinous grains, or maybe if you're eating a lot of seitan or something like that, seitan. I don't think you're eating seitan. I think you're eating seitan. Then you want to try to get rid of those really glutinous ones. Or if you're eating whole bagels, don't eat a lot of the processed flour, eat a lot of the whole grains, and see how that might make a difference, because you might have a little bit of an intolerance in there. I don't tell people to go gluten-free for everything in the book, but if you're still having this persistent problem, then you might want to try it out. So lots of other things about diet there.
We're just going to take a little break here because I want to share with you that growth is something that happens for everyone and every business. And we've been going through a lot of personal and professional growth here at Plant Trainers, and we want to stay connected with you. That's why we're giving away our plant-based comfort food ebook that's worth $14.99 for free at our website at planttrainers.com, or by clicking the link in the show notes. Click on that, get on our newsletter, because we're going to be making some serious changes and you need to be aware of what's going on. We look forward to connecting with you there. And now back to the show.
Sleep is really important also. Guys, this is not new. These are not things that we haven't talked about here before. Sleep can contribute to various skin issues. It can make dark, puffy circles under your eyes. It could, if you're not well rested, you might not eat well, you might be more stressed, and all of that is going to affect your skin as well. The other thing that I want to recommend for sleep, if you're really having acne problems, is your pillowcase. Put on a pillowcase. Hopefully cotton works for you. Like hopefully you have something pretty good and breathable, but put on a new pillowcase, sleep on that side of the pillowcase for one night. The next night, flip over the pillowcase and sleep on the fresh side the next night, because the oils are getting off of your face and going onto your pillow, and maybe you've had pimples that have popped. So it can get really, really bacteria filled in there. Then on the third night, change your pillowcase. Change your pillowcase altogether. Again, sleep side one, side two, and then the next day change it. You might not have to do this forever. You might want to do it forever. You might not have to do it forever, but that's something that you're going to want to start to do. The next thing that's also really important, once we're talking about the pillowcases and flipping them, is your face towel. So when you're washing your face and you're getting the water off of your face, and then you take that towel, maybe you hang it up, maybe you put it on the counter, maybe you wash your hands again with it later, maybe you wipe all kinds of things because it's what you're using for your shower towel too. You don't want that towel to go back on your face again. So what I use is I use a washcloth, and I use it to dry my face in the morning, and then I use it to dry my hands throughout the rest of the day, and then at night I take a new washcloth, so that every time I am patting down my face, I am actually using a new clean towel. I know some people have gone the extra mile to use paper towels. I'm not always crazy about what other chemicals are in paper towels and things like that. I can't control all of that, but that can be an option for you as well, especially if you don't have that many hand towels. You really need to do what you need to do to protect your skin. Protecting your skin from the sun is important too. Some people will use sunscreen. Some people will use, I use a moisturizing cream that has very high levels of vitamin C that's specific for, it's not a sunscreen, but it does help prevent from sun damage. And there's lots of great research on that too. If you want to know what I use, you can definitely reach out and ask, but that's something that you're going to want to consider. But also make sure that you're choosing a good quality one so it's not giving you more acne there as well. Exercise regularly. So people might say exercise and acne. Well, you're reducing your stress. And like you heard in my story earlier, when I got stressed, when things weren't going well with my health, my acne broke back out again. After it was like 35 years of having it, it was gone for 2 years and boom, it was back. So you want to exercise. Exercise is great for the body to detox. The body needs to detox things out. And if it doesn't have a way out because you're not drinking enough, because you're not sweating enough, it will find its way through your pores and it will leave you with acne as well. So whether it's walking outside, whether it's lifting some weights, whether it's playing team sports, we always say The exercise that you should be doing is the one that is safest for you, that you're going to do the most. That's really important. So make sure that you're doing that. And you also want to wash your face afterwards, because as you sweat, you're letting out toxins. You don't want them to sit there. You don't want your skin to be moist for too long. So you want to make sure that you wash your face. You also want to make sure, coming back to the pillow and coming back to sleep, that you wash your face at night before you go to bed. For those women or men out there wearing makeup, if you do not take your makeup off at the end of the night, your face will age an extra 3 days. We do not want to age an extra 3 days. Make sure that you're taking off your makeup. Make sure that you are patting your skin dry, and make sure that you are applying anything like our Renew 28 gel or anything else that you know is very good quality to go to sleep with. You don't need all these heavy creams that can contribute to acne as well. You want to clean off all the germs from the day. So we talked about exercise and how that can help with stress management. Stress management is really important too. So what kind of mindfulness are you taking part in? Maybe you don't like the word mindfulness, but are you meditating? Do you go for walks? Do you hang out with friends? And if you are, is that a safe environment for you emotionally, physically? Do you feel a sense of security? What kind of activities can you do? Do you love doing puzzles? Do you love reading a book? What kind of activities can you do to reduce your stress during the day? Avoid touching your face. Very often, if you're like me, you're always touching the hair, and then you start to touch the side of the face. So when I started to notice that I was only getting pimples near my hairline, I said, is that because my hair is oily, or is that because I'm constantly touching my hair? So the less I touch my hair, or back when, the less I touched my hair, the less acne I would have on the side of the face too. You have germs and dirt on your fingers. So you don't want to add to that as well. So all of these things that I mentioned right now, with the exception of maybe getting a couple of extra pillowcases or a couple of extra hand towels, completely free. Things that you should be doing on a day-to-day basis anyway. But here's some other things that I recommend. I really think that it's going to increase your success rates. It has increased the success rates, not only with myself, but with my clients as well. So a probiotic is really important. Very often when we have, especially cystic acne, it is stemming from the gut. We need to clean up the gut. And a probiotic is like planting a good, nice garden outside, but we don't just want to plant lettuce. We need to plant lettuce and tomatoes and cucumbers to be able to make a whole nice rounded salad, so that we can go back to eating a variety of great, delicious, fibrous foods, nutrient dense foods. So you might be using a really good probiotic now, but if you still have acne 3-4 months later and it hasn't changed due to the probiotic, you're going to want to change it up. I could post the one that I recommend in the show notes. Feel free to reach out. In fact, what I'm doing is I'm offering 5 free consults to anybody out there. You could gift it to somebody too. The first 5 people who email us at info@planttrainers.com and book a time with us will get a free consult with me. So you'll get some ideas on what you could be doing a little bit differently, and I can make some other recommendations from there. So the probiotics that I love often have pre and probiotic together, often cannot be bought in just a regular store. And I always find that although you might be on a really good one, it might not be what your body needs at that exact moment. So change it up a little bit. Try another one for 3-4 months. You could always go back to the one that you're using, but that might make the biggest difference. And often, sorry if it's some of you who are listening today, very often I'll make the suggestion that people change up their probiotic, and they'll say, but I'm on a very good one. This is one that I was recommended 4 years ago, but they're still having health issues. We need to change up those strands. You can't just continue. You know, the farmers, they don't toil. They don't plant the same things on the same piece of land year after year after year after year. You have to kind of change it around. The same with the probiotic. Good skincare products are really important. It took me years to find one that I was happy with. It had to be vegan. It had to be tested outside of North America because I don't trust the North American testing here. It had to be nourishing to my skin, not just taking off dirt and leaving me dry. It actually had to change to make a good difference in my skin. So sure, it took away a lot of lines, which I was happy about, but it took away that scarring that I had for years and years and years. I had discoloration and scarring. You'll see on the cover of this, if you go to planttrainers.com, check out the show notes or the cover on Instagram at Plant Trainers. Wherever you're looking at the cover, you'll see my face. All the scarring that was in that cheek region is completely gone now. So I want products that I'm using to not just take care of stuff for that time being, but actually be contributing to the health of my body. So that's really important. I'll leave my favorite one in the show notes as well. And again, feel free to reach out if you can't find that. Sometimes a collagen is needed for repair too. Collagen, I find in some ways, is very overdone these days, especially the non-plant-based ones. The parts of the animals that are used are absolutely disgusting. The amount of energy that the body needs to break it down, to even create the amino acids and peptides on their own, is it makes it so long for them to use, and you need to take in so much of it. But for some people who really have a lot of scarring or who have a lot of problems with their skin, a collagen might be needed. So again, I have a plant-based one that I absolutely recommend that's been getting my clients amazing results. So I will put that in the show notes as well. But if you are thinking of going the collagen route, do make sure that is plant-based, please. The next thing is overall gut health, right? Gut health is really, really important. So if you're not sure where to start with that, start eliminating some of those processed foods, some of those oily foods, the deep fried foods for sure. Start putting in every day. Ask yourself, how can I get one more healthy food on this plate? How can I have one more raw vegetable or raw fruit in this meal? Start to do that and reach out if you'd like. What you'd want to be one of those 5 consults. And for those of you who do have really bad acne scarring and you're not going to go the route of a really powerful face care system that's properly tested, that's vegan, that's all the things, a sea buckthorn oil can help with scarring. It's something that I started before I started using these products that I found. However, it went really, really slow, but it did make a difference mostly in my discoloration. But make sure that you're finding a good quality of it. Use it very sparingly at the beginning. Make sure that you're not allergic to it. And remember that everybody is different. So if sea buckthorn oil is the way that you're going to go, if you are getting results with it, I'd love to know what those are. So take pictures and feel free to send that to us. At Plant Trainers on Instagram is a good place to kind of send us a little bit of a picture like that. And overall, I think I've given you so many different tools today. Again, feel free to reach out with any questions. The first 5 people to email us and book that appointment will get a free consult. And we look forward to seeing you at Plant Trainers on Instagram, on Facebook as well, the Plant Trainers podcast. But of course, check out the show notes for all the details at planttrainers.com. Have a great day, everybody. We will see you next episode. Bye-bye.
Thank you all so much for listening to this edition of the Plant Trainers podcast. We want to make sure that you subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, or any other podcasting platform.
We really appreciate the feedback we receive from you. Every time we get a 5-star rating or review on iTunes from one of our fans, it really helps other people find us just like you did.
Thanks so much to our patrons. To become a patron, visit us at patreon.com/planttrainers. Even supporting us with $1 really makes a difference in the quality of the show.
And don't forget to connect with us on Instagram and Twitter. Our handle is @PlantTrainers. Like Plant Trainers on Facebook, join our newsletter, and check out our website at planttrainers.com for awesome recipes, a list of our services, and of course, our latest podcast.
We encourage you to email your questions to info@planttrainers.com so that we can help you improve your quality of life through nutrition and fitness.
So we hope we've inspired you today. Join us again next time and have a healthy day. Or is that too corny?
It's a little cheesy.